It's The Bert Show.
So that was probably
Time to get buzzed on the hot goss from Hollywood with Abby. It's the Bert Show's entertainment buzz.
Britney Spears has gone off the rails. I think if you follow her on social media, you can probably agree that something's going on.
I don't know that Britney's been on the rails in a long time.
She, you know what? Here's the thing. I like to think that she was trying to get back on the rails. She was gripping on it, white knuckling it. She's not even close to the rails anymore. She's in a different zip code.
Yeah, and I was telling these guys off the air a couple of days ago because she's been taking shots at her sister. Her sister's not saying it. Nobody in the family is saying anything. And I think that's because they all know the mental health battle she's having right now. So taking pot shots at her when she's truly sick is not going to happen.
Yeah, so she posted on Instagram this weird video where she's using a British accent and repeatedly calling her sister Jamie Lynn a little B, making fun of her for being on that show, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And it's just very it's really sad to listen to.
Have you guys been camping before?
I have, a long time ago.
My sister did on a TV show, and they bathed her in the jungle. She said, bathe me, because I'm stuck in the jungle and I miss my kids. Oh, cater to me, little bitch. Now what would we do in the jungle?
And of course, her sister is feeling exactly how you described. It seems like she's obviously going through something very challenging mentally, that there's nothing that you can really say to offend me because I know it's not really you.
Yeah, this is one of these cases where I think I've said this before, that if we wake up on a Monday morning and we found out something tragic happened to Britney Spears, we wouldn't be entirely shocked. So I'm just hoping she's got somebody in her circle that has some kind of healthy influence on her.
Yeah, I think it's been a pendulum swing. And she talks in the British accent because her grandmother was British and she has really fond memories of her, and she's one of the most stable figures in her life. She passed away, so she does that. And her assistant's now British. So when she was in the car, she asked her assistant, "Can I talk like you?" with the accent, and did a terrible job of it. But the thing is, you can tell there's so much pain. And I think when she first got free from the conservatorship, everyone was like, this is just her doing her thing. She's been locked up for so long, essentially. And now I think we're starting to see, okay, it's not really her, acting out because she was locked up for so long. There's something else at play, and so she needs a good support system, and it doesn't look like she has it.
Yeah, and there's something about being in the music industry that I think you just need some kind of emotional outlet. And I think sometimes people are turning to Instagram or social media when they should turn to a therapist, or in Benny Blanco's case, maybe your producer. So he was recently doing some press on Jimmy Fallon's show, and Benny Blanco has some of the biggest pop songs of all time. I mean, I feel like until recently, people didn't really know his name, but now that he's dating Selena Gomez and he's a little bit more active on social media, people know who he is. And he said something really interesting about his creative process when he's with an artist, when he talks about how to get the best out of them for a song that they're producing together.
Here's what I do. Yeah. Basically, I'm a therapist. So immediately the artist comes in. Yeah. I gotta pull out their deepest, darkest secret and then make them feel comfortable enough to tell me it. Then we have to write a song about it. Then we have to figure out the melody for it. Then we have to make sure the rest of the world likes it as well.
I've always wondered that with artists because, I just listened to Taylor Swift's, 31-track song where she says things that I wouldn't say in a normal conversation.
Like what?
She has a whole song about, getting it on with herself.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
What is per producer Jack Antonoff saying in that room that's making her go, you know what? 3 minutes and 30 seconds would be a great time to be able to express this thought and feeling in a track.
What's the name of that track?
It's called Guilty as Sin.
Okay.
All right.
We can turn it on. It's unironically one of my favorite songs from the album just because it's kind of a banger. But when you listen to the lyrics, you're like...
It's obvious that that's what she's talking about?
A little bit,
okay.
Yeah. But it's so good. Anyway, but have you experienced that with a producer where you feel like they're getting something out of you because they're kind of plucking at your brain?
All the time. The way he described it, it's exactly like that. If you're on the side of trying to get the best out of the artist, you do somewhat become the artist's therapist because you want them to really express everything that they're dealing with and then make that come out on the track. And that's usually how great songs come about.
Yeah, and obviously it's working for Benny Blanco. Okay, I want to get to Drew Barrymore really quickly before I tease our next E-Buzz because she had Kamala Harris on the show and she said something to Kamala that just makes me feel like Drew's getting a little bit too comfortable with her guests.
I keep thinking in my head that we all need a mom. I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now.
Yeah.
But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country.
That is so cringe. My God. I know she was just sitting there like,
Okay.
Now, Kamala would have got my vote if she said, you know what, I don't want that.
Actually, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't want to do that. What's next?
Yeah, I'd rather be Dadala Harris.
It's The Bert Show.